Welcome, manufacturing world. This is another episode of Shop Matters, sponsored by Akuma America. I'm your host, Mike Hampton, and I'm thrilled to be here with one of our partner companies, Blaser Swiss Lube, and specifically Michael Hobbs. So, Michael, why don't you give us just a brief introduction of yourself and really what drives your passion for manufacturing and the company you work for?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Thanks for allowing us to be part of this. I'm the sales director for the Eastern U.S., and I also have responsibility for the Dallas-Fort Worth and Austin, Texas area. And I've been in this business since 1982, so I'm one of the old-timers in the business. And I've been involved in metalworking fluids and working with customers on improving their process, improving their productivity since 1982. I've had a chance to see a lot of different processes. I'm very knowledgeable of the competitive, products that are out there in the companies, and so it's been a nice journey for me. And I wake up every day grateful that I can do something that I love, enjoy doing.
Yeah, as do I. And even events just like this podcast, we're lucky to have you here. Thank you for that brief introduction. I mean, people probably think coolant is a simple thing. It's just something that you have to have the machine with, but it's actually very, very complex. So having those years of experience will go a long ways to helping our end users ultimately find the solution. One way that we're able to develop products and help Blaser come up with the next product line of coolant is through our partners in technology facilities. So Blaser has been a valued partner for a number of years. Why don't you just share with our audience what that partnership means to you and how it's helped both of our organizations and really how it's helped our end users most importantly?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we understand the need for helping our customers achieve big things, and part of that is partnering with Akuma and the Partners in Technology program, and allowing us to really take the pulse of our customers and our joint customers, as a matter of fact. And so, we love to be able to attend open houses and have product in your showrooms and participating in all these nice events. And we feel like we bring value. We help Akuma bring value to their customers through this collaborative effort.
Yeah, 100%. And every time we have an open house or we have a customer visit, I know Michael's just one phone call away for support. So, that's important to have to create the ultimate experience for our end users. And that's what our partnership is all about. So now that we've talked a little bit about the partnership, let's jump into coolant. So coolant one-on-one, the first thing I want to talk about is how do you create synergy between the machine tool and MWF?
Yeah, it's a great question. The metalworking fluid comes in contact with the machines, the people that run it, and your customer parts. And so part of that process, is during the R&D process. Our products are developed in Switzerland, and so. We do all of our due diligence with, checking compatibility with seals and O-rings and so forth, and checking for the compatibility with the human condition. And Blaser is known globally for our products being easy on the operators,
right?
On the skin and everything on the operators.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things in a manufacturing environment in any manufacturing facility is the safety of the employees, right? So Blaser doing their due diligence to make sure that they have safe products that are coming in contact not only with the machine tool and vital components of that machine tool, but also the people, that goes a long ways. So you mentioned that the products were developed in Switzerland. What about additional technical support and development that takes place in our market or in North America?
Yeah, our North American headquarters is in Goshen, New York, and we have laboratory facilities there where we can do a broad range of analysis, customer samples. We can look at troubleshooting and anything that requires advanced analytics would then be afforded over to Switzerland because they have more capabilities than we do. But we can do quite a bit in Goshen. So that's where we manufacture. That's where we have laboratory facilities. That's where we have our support staff and where we manufacture probably 85-90% of all the products that are sold domestically, as well as Canada, Brazil, Mexico. So the Goshen, New York facility is highly capable of assisting us and providing services and support and value to our customers.
Yeah, excellent. So in the Northeast, you mentioned that the products were developed in Switzerland, produced in New York, though. So when our customers are actually receiving a 55-gallon drum of coolant, that's coming out of New York, correct?
Right. For the most part, like I said, probably 10%. Some of our newer technologies are still being imported from Switzerland, but the majority of the products we sell in North America are being manufactured and shipped out of Goshen, and typically shipped to our distribution network because that's long been our model. We sell primarily through distribution, and so our distributors will purchase the product from Blaser, and they will stock it and ship it out to our joint customers.
Yeah, that's great news. One other thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm sure all of our end users listening and our audience today is curious. So let's just briefly hit on synthetic coolant versus non-synthetic coolant. You talked about how safety is first with everything that cutting fluid comes in contact with. What are some of the pros and cons of both from the Blaser standpoint?
First of all, I'd like to say regarding the synthetics, it's really it's always an interesting talking point, and I have a perspective from an old timer, as I mentioned,
Right.
being in this business for a long time, and the synthetics of the '80s and '90s, for the most part, are not the synthetics that are of the 2023
Right.
and beyond. One of the nice things about working for Blaser is that our R&D folks are always coming up with new formulas and new technologies, new products, and a lot of our competition is still selling, the old style synthetics that caused issues with paint and the seals and O-rings that they were selling when I got into the business in 1982, and so. A lot of those old style technologies, and I'm not going to mention any names, but a lot of those old style technologies, I believe, based off my experience, has given synthetics a bad rap
Right.
in the metalworking industry. And there's still a lot of customers and machine, tool builders that are still kind of looking at performance and issues from back in the '80s and the '90s, and so going back to what I said about our R&D process and how we do all of our due diligence and checking with compatibility with machines and all the paints that are used, unless somebody's using a paint that no one's ever used before.
Right.
We've tested, we've done it, and the same with seals and O-rings. Now, it doesn't mean whether it's a synthetic, whether it's what we call a soluble oil or a semi-synthetic, the best products out there every once in a while are going to have issues.
Right.
And it's not just synthetics. And so, but the advantages of synthetics are great for those customers that are comfortable using them. And but the nice thing about it, we've got such a diverse product line, and Blaser's. This is not an exaggeration. We're launching every year probably 5 new water miscible fluids like synthetics and oil base, ester oil base, and we're launching probably 5 new, what we call neat or straight cutting oil products every year. So Blaser is again, speaking as an old timer, light years ahead of our competition and investing back into R&D and a constant pipeline of new technologies. And it really gives us a big advantage over our competition.
Yeah, well, the way that I understood that message is that Blaser is constantly evolving. They're not complacent with their product line. They're always looking for the next best thing. The other thing that I understood was that maybe synthetics today under the Blaser product line are different than a Blaser synthetic fluid that was produced maybe in 1990 or early 2000s, because you guys are constantly looking at that chemistry, constantly making adjustments, and trying to stay really at the peak of that mountain compared to your competitors in the coolant field.
It's one of the things that separates Blaser from any of our competition out there.
Wow, that's great news. The other thing I want to hit on is just process optimization. So, in order to optimize a process, it takes a lot of resources. I know that Blaser is constantly looking at process optimization in a number of different areas, but let's just start with your tech centers and how your tech centers can help end users in our audience optimize their process.
Yeah, our tech center in Switzerland is something that no one in our industry has. We have our own machine tools. We're probably 5 or 6 machine tools now in our tech center. And rumor has it we're getting a new one. Matter of fact, when they designed,
I hope it's an Akuma.
I don't know what it is, so I can't answer that. But
we'll talk about that later.
Okay, yeah. that sounds fair, Mike. When we built the building, we built it with I guess a accessible port or window where we could add new machine tools when we're expanding, and so. It's a tremendous resource that we have that we can bring to bear for not only our partner Akuma, but our customers as well, because we have machinists that go to work every day, and they're running machines, they're machining all types of different materials. The R&D folks can bring in the formulas from these great new technologies that they're developing. Our own machinists can put in the machines. They can test them with a variety of cutting tools, test it with a variety of different materials, so the capabilities that we have in the tech center, not to mention working on turnkey projects with our customers. We're working on several now with some very large companies in the power generation industry. There's been collaboration between the customer and our folks in Switzerland. There's actually been visits. We have customers that visit and collaborate with our machinists in our tech center to solve specific issues and try to elevate their productivity to a different level. And one of the things I wanted to add too is that even locally, the type of people that we hire, that we have on our teams, our area sales managers are, for the most part, either former cutting tool salespeople or they're former machinists. We intentionally go after those type of people when we're hiring because we can teach them to sell coolant. We don't really want them to necessarily to have worked for a competitive coolant before, because we want to teach them the Blaser way, right?
Right.
And so we have people that can be on the shop floor at the spindle working with our customers. I've personally got sales engineers that can go to a customer and go, look, I think you should probably try this different cutting tool here. I think you should maybe make this adjustment, maybe look at speeding up the process a little bit, because you'll probably get better performance with a combination of a certain cutting tool and a high quality Blaser Swiss Lube metalworking fluid. And then finally, we have applications engineers that support our area sales managers, our whole sales force that are highly capable, strong on the machining background, and one of those that supports my team in the East, Doug Fetcher. You guys have met at the Partners in Technologies. As a matter of fact, Doug has helped us in doing presentations there. So there's so much there that Blaser Swiss Lube can provide that no other competitor in our industry can do.
Wow. So all that's great information. You know, one thing that you said time and time again is customer, 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 customer. So Blaser is focused on their customer, and that's aligned with Akuma's mission statement too. We passionately pursue a customer for life. So this partnership allows us to better do that together. And you just mentioned that we're doing it through tech centers, whether it's an Akuma tech center, whether it's a Blaser tech center, through application engineering, whether it's an Akuma application engineering team or a Blaser application engineering team. And we have to have these resources because at the end of the day, coolant isn't a one-stop shop. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's dependent on a lot of different things, right? The machine tool, the material that's being cut, the process, and the list goes on and on. So why don't you walk us through Blaser's 4-step process where we can really dial in what the perfect product is for our customer?
Yeah, we don't recommend a product, for example, to any particular customer based off of what they're currently using,
Right.
because quite honestly, a lot of times the product they're using is not the best product for their process. So we have a 4-step sales process, and it starts it's analysis, value proposal, test, and value communication. The analysis is simply we go in and we go into the customer facility. We look at their process. We look at their cutting tools. We look at their cycle times. We look at the materials they're machining. Yeah, we look at their competitive products. What kind of fluids are they using? What types of concentrations and so forth are they using? Do they have any bottlenecks? In other words, we can. The good news, we can often reduce cycle times, but if the reducing the cycle time causes bottleneck, downstream, then that's, we have to be aware of that. And so
Right.
that's all part of the analysis phase. And then we'll propose a solution. So we'll propose a specific product. And by the way, in the analysis phase, we always take a water sample because everybody's water is different. Water is 90% of what's in the machine, and you need to make sure you're providing a product that's best suited for that particular water. So then we go into the proposal side where we go, okay, here's your water conditions, here's what you're machining. So we're going to recommend this product based off our experience with your processes. We've seen it, the materials you're machining. We know your equipment. We know your process, your pain points, the things you're looking for. So we're going to propose this product that's best for you. And then we typically go into the machine and actually start a test.
Right.
And so we do a test, and then we will confirm whether those things we proposed indeed is the right choice. And then we'll communicate. That's the 4th stage of the process. We'll communicate the actual results. So we've gone from proposing to communicating actual test results. And and we have a unique software called the Liquid Tool Analyzer that we can input all this data. The customer gets a very professional, report that tells them what their bottom line ROI would be, and that's something also that none of our competition has. And so we're able to do more than just say, "Hey, I've got a product, and it's this price per drum, when we think you should use it." I think a lot of times salespeople make the mistake of assuming too much.
Right.
So they go into a customer and they go, "Hey, I've got what you need." And I know if I'm a customer, I'm going, "How can you know what I need when you don't know anything about my process? You haven't done the analysis phase, right? So you're telling me you've got something that's good for me, and how do you know?" So we take that deliberate 4-step approach, and that allows us to really come in with a whole different level of credibility.
Wow, that is just excellent. I mean, one thing that I take away from that is just the specific care that your organization is showing our end users so that they can really have a specified or one-off solution for their process. And that's so important. I do want to hit on one other thing that you mentioned. So a large part of coolant is water. And water in these facilities varies a lot, actually. So, what are some of the adjustments that you'll make based off of that water sample or the workarounds to make sure that the ultimate cutting fluid product is right, even if that water sample comes back maybe iffy?
Right. Well, most companies, including Blaser, have different products suitable for different types of water.
Yep.
So, for example, if you've got hard water, if a customer has hard water, some customers have well water,
Yep.
and so we'll have a product that can handle that has the emulsion integrity to handle the challenges of hard water like that. And so for customers that have soft water, which is primarily in my area of responsibility, which is the Eastern U.S., we got to make sure we have products that have appropriate foam control in the product to be able to not foam out of the machine, especially as more and more machines have high pressure now, right?
Right.
So we've got to have products that are built with a certain amount of foam control or hardness, incorporated into the product. And on rare occasions where we need to supplement, the product in a soft water condition, especially, then we have defoamers tank side, and we have hardening agent that we can actually raise the hardness of the water a little bit. So it's all about understanding the process and matching up the product that's suited for that water.
Well, that's just great for the customer, because really selecting a machine tool and all the accessory components can be an overwhelming task. So what your organization is doing is making them have zero worries about the coolant, about the foaming, the incoming water. You're going through this 4-step process to say, hey, let the subject matter experts handle this. We're going to make sure that this is one less thing you have to worry about. So that's admirable, and I love everything about that process. One thing that our customers are nearing towards and entering at a rapid rate is automation. And with automation, that changes the coolant game as well, because these machines are running 24/7. They're running lights out. That coolant has to be monitored with machine tools constantly on, powered up, spindles turning. So how is Blaser attacking and approaching the realm of automation to make sure that we can stay on top of the coolant control?
Yeah, we've got an answer for that also.
Okay, I figured you did.
And so, back when I started, most of the customers had dedicated people, right, for monitoring their concentrations and checking machines every day.
Right.
And then a lot of that personnel went by the wayside. And even today, with the challenges of getting personnel, finding employees, it's become even harder to manage, your concentration. Because if you're not managing your concentration, you're not going to get the tool life. You're not going to get the finish. You're going to have higher scrap rates. All those things that come with that. So Blaser actually started a second company that's not part of Blaser Swiss Loop, but the end result is that we have developed and manufactured our own series of automatic coolant control equipment.
Okay, so is this eliminating the individual that used to go measure the pH, check all the coolant levels, go from cell to cell to cell? If it is, what is it using? Is it using coolant level sensors? Is it using refractometers? Exactly how does it work? Tell us more. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is called a liquid tool sensor. And it started off with just a sensor that you would just stick to the machine and drop the tube down into the coolant. And it's web-based. You could go on your phone and check it measures concentration and temperature. And so you could always know, you could be, having a cerveza on the beach of Punta Cana,
All right.
and you could be checking your concentration of machines. That was phase one. Phase two is the autofill system. So this is really exciting here, because now we have the capability of monitoring and maintaining your concentration, but we also keep the tank levels at the proper levels. So there's an automatic fill component. So we've gone from just being able to monitor the concentration to being able to maintain the levels of your machine and your concentration. So we're able to completely take that away from the personnel that used to be required for monitoring the equipment. And I got to say this too, uniqueness of Blaser Swiss Blue. There's a lot of companies out there that have some coolant control equipment, and they're trying to get into it. There's a lot of companies that are partnering with companies that already had this type of equipment. Blaser really strives to be different, and so we developed a company, and with our own R&D folks, and we designed our own coolant monitoring equipment, and we're selling that through a sister company of Blaser AG, the parent company, and so Blaser is never going to be a Me Too company.
Right.
We're not going to be a Me Too company for automatic equipment. We're not going to be a Me Too company for metalworking fluids. We're never going to be that way. And we've never been that way in the 90 or so years that Blaser has been in existence. We've always tried to be different, and our focus is always going to be on cutting edge products, cutting edge automatic equipment, and with the primary end focus of being able to take our customers to a level that they cannot achieve with other types of options out there.
Wow, that's inspirational. If our audience wants to learn more about this coolant monitoring system, where can they find that information?
www.liquidtool.com.
Easy enough.
That's right.
Well, Michael, you have shared a lot about Blaser, a lot about your continuous improvement outlook on the products, how synthetic coolant and non-synthetic coolant have changed over the years, and really just how you're ever evolving and evolving in the eyes of the customer. So I think that that's really important. With that said, my name's Mike Hampton. I'm the host of Shop Matters, sponsored by Akum America today. And we're thrilled to have Michael Hobbs from Blaser Swiss Lube joining us. Join us next time.